Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hello Day with Down to Earth Astronomy. Monday once again, and it's time to take a look at all the news that's happened in Delete, and we have quite a bit to go through today. So this video is gonna be, I think, a little bit longer than you might be used to. As always, let's look at what happened in Delete. Then we're gonna talk about what's gonna come on the channel in the future, and today at the end, I'm also gonna ask some of the questions that you asked last time. This is something I talked about last time. We'll get back to that. Let's start with updates from Elite Dangerous. Of course, the major news that I think everybody would have seen by now is the announcement of the Beyond Open Beta patch, which is going to come on the 25th of January, which is when it's actually in 10 days from when this video goes live. Again, Open Beta only on PC and Mac, so not the console versions. You will have to wait till the patch is probably launched. But this is the 3.0 update, and they've listed a brief summary of some of the changes. We've already got some more in depth about some of it, but I'm just going to run through it, and let's talk about what changes are coming. First and foremost, of course, we just had the Type 10, and now they're already announcing that the Chieftain is indeed coming in the new patch. That means when you log into the beta on the 25th of January, you will most likely be able to go out and buy the Chieftain. So far, there's been a lot of speculations about what size of ship it is and what it's going to be good for, but it is going to be similar to the Type 10. It's going to be a Lakon ship built for the Federation. So if the Type 10 was anything to go by, it's going to be a very combat-oriented ship, and the small description that the Frontier is given in the announcement kind of supports that. And I'm going to quote here: "Designed not only to dish out punishment, but to avoid it. Manufactured by Lakon Spaceway, the Chieftain is more maneuverable than ships of similar size and weight, and its combat profile means that it can more than hold its own in a fight." So again, it sounds like it's going to be a fairly maneuverable combat ship, and as I said, it can dish out some damage, but it can also take some punishment. So maybe that armor tanking thing that we saw with the Type 10, I mean, the Type 10 is right now the king of armor tanking. There's no doubt about that. So maybe that's going to be the line that we're going to see, but again, that's something we will have to wait and see until the patch actually comes out. Then they've done some improvements to core mechanics, and this is actually the part I think is most interesting, because from my point of view, this is the part that will have the largest impact, hopefully, on the game. And of course, the included accessibility to the engineers. And they had the discussion on the forum where they proposed some changes, and some of the changes they have suggested is both the materials for engineers, that instead of having a total cap, you're going to get a cap on the individual modules or individual materials. Right now, for instance, materials, you could have a total of 1,000, and that means you could have 1,000 of one material and 0 of everything else, or you could mix and match, but no more than 1,000. That's going to change now, and I think they're looking at a cap at around 100 units of each, but the cap is now going to be individual. And they're also going to change engineering quite drastically. They're going to remove a lot of the RNG from engineering. It's going to be a lot more predictable what you're going to get. But you also might need more materials now to get it, because I think what they're working towards is some kind of system where you would, when you get a weapon or a module you want to upgrade, you have to first do a series of grade 1 upgrades, then a series of grade 2 upgrades, and then grade 4 and 5, and finally you can begin to do the final grade 5 upgrades. And I think there's maybe going to be tiers within each grade, so you can make, I think, 4 or 5 rolls or 3 rolls or something within a certain tier, and then you've got to upgrade every time. And then you can't roll on it anymore. So it's not going to be infinite rolling. But again, the exact details is something we'll wait and see until the beta. And remember, whatever's coming out in the beta is, well, it's a beta test. So everything there is also subject to change. So the final version, we will have to wait probably about a month or a month and a half, maybe 2 months before we're going to see anything like that. I thought a very interesting one just said, and overhaul the mission rewards. Okay, no idea. Maybe they've gone out and tried to rebalance mission rewards in general. which could potentially mean that the current passenger missions might not be that viable after the 3.0 patch is launched. We don't know. But historically, even if the passenger missions is not is no longer a valid thing in terms of money making, there will always be something else, and I will almost 100% promise you that we're gonna find something similar or some other method of making a decent amount of credit. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But I'm gonna talk more about that stuff a little bit later on. And then of course there's the changes to the crime and punishment system. And also they had the forum post about that. So you can go into the feedback forum on the Elite Dangerous homepage and you can look up the proposed changes. I think that got pretty good feedback, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be pretty close to the state that they're going to implement it in. But trying to make a little bit more fair crime and punishment system, I think is what they're aiming for. Of other stuff that they're introducing is wing missions. And of course this is beginning to work towards that squadron update that's coming in, I think Q4 that's planned for at the moment. But again, interesting to see wing missions that will have to be completed in a wing. Maybe we're going to look at something like you have to ship stuff to 2 different stations within a certain time frame, and that's not going to be doable in a single ship. So it'll have to be several ships spreading out with different materials. How it's going to work exactly, I don't really know. One thing I am concerned about though is that historically we have seen lots of issues with instancing, connection issues whenever you do anything in a wing or in multi-crew, and I don't see anything in this announcement that addresses any of these stability issues that is in multiplayer. And if those issues are not addressed, and then I feel like the wing missions could maybe be a bit of a flop, because I could see a situation where people are gonna go out on the wing mission and then suddenly they're gonna be impossible to complete because on one screen someone have killed a target that's not killed on the other person's screen, and there's gonna be some mismatch between which state the mission is in, and is then the mission the guy who accepted the mission that accepts it, but what about the other person? Can he also see the mission at the same time? And will they suddenly have the mission stuck in 2 different states when we get these instancing issues? I don't know, but I am a little skeptic because we do not see any updates to the way multiplayer works in Elite Dangerous. So I really hope this has been tested and it's been tested thorough, because I would love to see this be a success. I have for a very long time been wanting the game to move in a more multiplayer friendly version, because at the moment Elite Dangerous is the MMO that has the least player-to-player interaction I've ever seen. There is very little player-to-player interaction in the game, and I think it's mainly down to those instancing issues and the way that it's not really that stable, and that's why I really hope that that's something they're going to address, and especially with these wing missions, and if they want to be a success. Then they're giving more relevant revised trait data, so we're going to be able to get more trait data. I think again this is because right now when people are trading, it's pretty much mandatory to go and use external third-party tools to find your trade routes and managing it. And I think they want to try to pull that into the game as well, so you can get more information about the different markets, so you can make a better informed decision. But again, if it's not at least at the same level as the third-party tools, I would still see people go out and use the third-party tools rather than use the in-game ones. Because why would you use something, even though it's in-game, which is nice, but why would you use something that's in-game if you can get better results out of the game? I don't know. It's an issue, but for the immersion factor. But talking about immersion factor, planet visualization improvements, it's going to be nice to see. Nice new shiny planets, more detailed, and I'm going to look forward to that. Not really sure if the surface of the planets is going to be looking different as well. I would expect them to. So that's going to be interesting. Most interesting for me, at least as a YouTuber, as a streamer, is the performance impact on your PC. Because for those who've been following my channel, you will know that I've had some some ongoing issues for the last couple of months with my live streams that has not really been that stable in high graphic situations, and I'm still working towards a solution. I've said several times in these Hello Dave that now it's resolved, and I would like to say the same this time. I've been working on it this week as well. It's pretty much been an ongoing thing for the last 2 months. So again, the performance impact is going to be interesting to see. I mean, higher detail is going to have an impact on the performance, but also for players with maybe not that high-end PC that's running on a maybe medium-end or low-end PC running at lower settings, but you have to lower your settings even further. We'll have to wait and see. Again, that's something we'll wait and see until that's out. And then, of course, they're introducing what they talked about on the Expo, the Galnet audio. So all the Galnet news, which I think a lot of players are not really paying attention to. You can now go and you can have a synthesized voice read them out to you. I don't think they're going to have an actual voice actor read all the Galnet news. They're probably going to be some text-to-speech kind of engine that's going to take care of that. So you can sit and you can listen to the Galnet audio, and I'd expect it's going to be so you can listen to it while you do other stuff. You can kind of, like a podcast, just set it and run and then read up the news for you. And great, because I think that's going to get more players involved in the whole news segment and what's happening with the lore in the game, because I know that a lot of those mysteries that has been uncovered, like the alien bases for instance, all started with a random Galnet article in some system. That there would maybe be a local report that there's this listening post that picked up something weird, and then someone would actually go in and they would read that Galnet article in that specific system. They will go out to the listening post, and that was what started the whole chain of hints and clues, and it finally led to the discovery of the aliens. I think that's at least how that worked. So getting more people involved in Galnet and getting more people to actually listen in on Galnet, I think will help improve the amount of secrets being uncovered. It's going to be a little bit more accessible for most people, which I think is great. And then something that's actually already been added into the game that went under the radar for, I think, most people. We now have decontamination drones in the game, recently added by Aegis. It's a lot like the repair drones that you can send them to either repair a friendly ship or your own ship. But what they do is they remove the caustic effect on your ship. Previously, you would have to overheat your ship to about 180 to 200% to burn off the caustic effect. But now you can do it with the decontamination drones. Just fire that and they'll go out and they'll wash up all that nasty Thargoid caustic thingy that's on your ship. So nice to see we get that. I'm still missing some caustic resistant armor plates or hull reinforcements. Would really love to see those pretty soon, but no, not just yet. But I think that's what's happened in Elite. I also have a ton of stuff to talk about regarding the rest of the month on the channel, because that's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. Now, as I said, on the 25th, the open beta is going to start, and I would love to be able to give you as much coverage of that as I possibly can. Unfortunately, at the time when that patch is launched, I will be around 10,000 kilometers away from my computer. So I'm going to be on vacation, and that means that I'm not going to be able to cover it right on launch, but I'll rest assured as soon as I'm back from vacation that I will be getting into the beta and begin to give you my point of view, and we'll have a look at all the new stuff that's in the game. But I will this time be late to the party when it comes to 3.0 content. And of course, that also means that live streams is going to be a little difficult when I'm not home. There will be a live stream tomorrow. That's going to be same as usual. But then the 2 coming Tuesdays, which is my normal live streaming spot, there will not be any live streams on those days, obviously because I'm not home. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get any videos for those 2 weeks. I have for the last, I started actually in my Christmas vacation. I started just pushing out videos as quickly as I could. So I've been playing a lot less of other games and spent a lot more time making videos. So I now have a pretty decent backlog of pre-uploaded videos that I'm going to schedule for release. So they're going to automatic release on my usual spots on Wednesday and Saturday when I'm off on my vacation. So you're still gonna get your videos. There's still gonna be your usual 2 videos a week with Elite Dangerous and maybe other games as well. So you're still gonna get that. Of course, no Hello Daves. We're not gonna be able to record Hello Daves from where I'm going. I'm not expecting a very good internet connection. So if I were to do Hello Dave, I'll have to do it on my phone and do it pretty unedited. But again, I don't want to spend my vacation on reading up on news on Elite Dangerous. I'm off to have a good time with my girlfriend, so you will have to make do with the pre-uploaded content. So if you do not see live streams from me and new videos on all the new stuff right when the beta launches, then you know why. But again, that will come when I get back. Then last week I said that I want to try and take up the whole answering questions on Hello Dave again, and you guys have been very, very good at actually posting questions, and I've taken a few of them. I haven't answered all of them, not going to answer all of them, because then this video will be pretty long, and this one is already quite long, but we're pushing 16-17 minutes now, and but I have a few questions that I picked out that I want to talk about. And the first one I want to talk about is not actually a question. It's more of a comment, because someone commented that the galaxy here behind me was spinning in the wrong direction. If you go back and you watch some of the earlier Hello Day videos, you'll notice the galaxy in the background was spinning in the wrong direction. That has now been corrected. I've never noticed it before, but after it was mentioned to me, it was pretty obvious that the galaxy was indeed spinning in the wrong direction, and it bugged the hell out of me. So I had to go in and I edited my Hello Dave template, so that video is actually now playing in reverse, so that the galaxy is spinning in the right direction. So that has been corrected. No, but for actual questions, Commander Hung Lifuk, I don't know if I pronounced that correct, but he asked about the whole Rexlar planet thing and what my thoughts was on it. And if you don't know, Rexlar is a mysterious planet that was part of a book that came with the original game from '84. That was some kind of alien, that had some kind of alien structure with a portal or gate or something that led to another universe. And that's pretty much since people have been looking for it, and there's been some clues from a faction in Shinrata Deshra about it, but nothing solid. And Frontier has said back in 2014 that that indeed the planet Rexlar is in the game and they know where it is. But of course, all they're gonna say is that it's somewhere in the Milky Way, and that it's that's a journey that that people have to experience for themselves if they want to go out and find that. So they're not gonna reveal the location. The fact that they call that journey makes me believe that there is some kind of clue out there that will lead to the discovery of this. But again, the question was if I think it's worth going out and looking for it, and absolutely, because of course it is. If you find this story intriguing, if you find it interesting, imagine being the first one to discover a thing like that. That would be on the level of discovering the Thargoid bases, if not bigger, finding that planet. A lot of people are looking for it in the Formidine Rift. Again, I've not been paying too much attention to it myself, but it seems like many people think it is out in that area. But it might as well be in one of the locked out sectors of the game. There are plenty of sectors around the game where we simply do not have access, like whole huge hunks of space that we cannot get into. And I've always been pretty sure that this is something that Frontier has done to be able to unlock it at some point if they want to have a sector of space that's completely undiscovered by players suddenly be accessible for some reason if they want to add something in the future. So I think it's some kind of safeguard they've done themselves, so they don't have to say, oh, this whole sector of space suddenly changed because they didn't really fit what they do. That means that sector of space they can model exactly to their needs in case they want to implement something in the future. But whether Rexler is in one of those sectors, I don't know. I've recently noticed, I actually don't know when this was added, but if you go into your system panel tab and you go under to your permits, it now also has a section for region permits, not only system permits. I'm pretty sure that's a new thing. I don't know when it was added, but last time I was looking at my permits, at least it wasn't there. It has been added now, or at least it's here now. So maybe Frontier is planning to do some kind of region unlock in the 3.0 update, the Beyond series of updates. This is tinfoil hat area now, guys. Maybe the Alliance has had some kind of secret deep space area they have been working in, because now it seems like the Alliance is beginning to play a bigger and bigger role with the release of their ships. Maybe they're going to be a superpower we're going to be able to rank up with, just as we could with the Federation and with the Empire. And maybe eventually we're going to get access to some secret area of space, or what do I know? Something like that. I would be expecting to do something that would happen, and maybe the Alliance already know about where Rexar is. That's my guess is as good as yours. But again, this is pure tinfoil hat area. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I think if you find if you want to go out and look for it, I definitely think you should. Yes, and then another question from Al Taroui. He asked what methods I think. I mean, he said that some of my older videos seems to not really be valid anymore. And he's absolutely correct, especially all the Quinn's videos are not really that valid anymore. And what kind of methods I think is still valid, and what you would do as a newer or in the middle of the game kind of player in terms of money making, since some of them seem to have a pretty high cap in terms of trade rank and stuff like that. And what I want to talk about here is of course some of the methods that I would recommend, but also the general thing with whole money making and stuff like that. Now, if you're a newer player, I would definitely recommend going to RIA and run the passion missions there. The reason why I always recommend people going there, if they're newer to the game or haven't reached Elite and Trade, is because if you go to do the missions towards to LTT 9360, they will often be very, very difficult to get if you're not Trade Elite and if you're not fully allied with all the factions. So that's why I always recommend people going and do the RIA missions instead. If they run the passion missions, alternatively, they can go down and run the Palin missions if they have Palin unlocked, because that makes it a little bit easier, and you can get access to those corrosion resistant cargo racks. But of course, now with Obsidian Orbital being attacked by Thargoids, those missions are no longer available, and until this is repaired, if it's ever going to be repaired, those missions will of course not be available. So at the moment, the best method would be to go and do the standard RIA missions, which I did a video on like months back. But other than that, I mean, I would always recommend a new player to... Okay, let me rephrase that. If a new player comes to me, this has happened quite a few times, and said, I'm brand new to the game, how to make a ton of money, I would always recommend to say, go out and try the different aspects of the game. Try to do some bounty hunting, try to do some mining, do some exploration, do some trading, do a little bit of engineering, get a feel for the game, because I know if you just go out and just go all balls to the walls, money making, you get your ship on the Anaconda, if you have no idea what you're doing with it, then you can get burned out of the game, because you don't really get that, you don't get that love for the game by trying to experience it for yourself. So I would always recommend people to do that. That being said, once you actually like the game and you know that this is something you want to invest quite a bit of time in, then by all means go out and be more optimized, because often the things you like to do and the most efficient way to make money is not the same. For instance, I like to spend a lot of time either just testing out new builds on whatever ships I'm testing out at the moment, or sit for a couple of hours in the belt and just mine some ore. And it's not really, in terms of money making, that efficient. And especially the shipbuilding can be pretty expensive in terms of in-game credits, because then I would buy a module, figure out, oh, I didn't need this module, so I'll sell it again, and then I'll sell a ship because, oh, this build didn't really do what I wanted it to do, so I'm going to sell the whole ship, and I'm going to buy something else, and buying and selling all the ships all the time, and testing them out, and ship will be blown up, and I'll have to rebuy them. It's expensive. And in order for me to be able to do that, I'll of course need a decent amount of credits, and that's why I originally went out and searched for these money-making methods, so I could, as quickly as possible, do something that I might not find as enjoyable as the other aspects of the game, but since those aspects of the game don't really pay any money, I want to just get the money in as quick as I can so I can go and do what I actually enjoy in the game, whether that is mining or testing builds or trying to figure out the game mechanics behind different aspects of the game, stuff like that. That's what I find interesting in the game. So I would always recommend new players to go out, figure out what you like in the game before you go out and just do massive money grind. Massive money grinds are for when you actually know that you like the game and that you will gonna invest a decent amount of time in it. But I think that's gonna be it. How much time was it? This was a long one today. We're approaching half an hour. I've been sitting here talking, and for those of you still watching, I'm really happy that you've been here for such a long time. But anyway, let's call it for today. And again, next Hello Day is going to be in February. So until then, take care out there, and remember to tune in for the live stream tomorrow. And yeah, if you want to support the channel, there is a link for Patreon down below where you can support the channel. And again, all money raised through Patreon goes directly towards increasing the video quality and the viewing experience for you guys. So that could be camera equipment, microphones, lighting, if I'm gonna build a streaming PC eventually so I can get a little bit more stable stream, stuff like that. All Patreon money goes towards that. So, if you like the video, give it a like down below, and remember to subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.